I forgot about that. I just looked at my list and I was like, oh, I don't have my Skype on. So I put him on at the last minute in case you guys have not seen him. All right, Ramon, what's happening?
What's up, Anthony? It is actually the night of the Jewish holiday of Purim, and it's the holiday when Persia was supposed to kill us all. So, you know, if you guys don't like me, you can blame the Iranians because they didn't get it done. Anyway, on this holiday, we're supposed to get drunk. So I also figured, given somebody's past appearance on the Breakfast Club, I'd go ahead and pander. So I'm having some Tanqueray and some Florida's natural juice. So you guys might know what that combination makes. Anyway, I actually published a new article on Hard News Network, if you're familiar with that website. So I shared that with you, and it kind of goes into some of the real issues about education that a gun ban will never solve. And I think the most important one is the multicultural, brainwashing in schools. And by, by that, I was having an argument with two friends, both of whom are liberal to some degree. They're not Democrats, but they are liberal. They were saying, what do you mean? People shouldn't be happy with their own culture? I said, no. The problem is that a school can't teach kids how to be everything, because then it won't be able to teach them how to be anything. So we have to go back to a common set of values based on the British Enlightenment, John Locke and the social contract, which is those, by the way, are actual liberal values, not the type of progressive liberalism that has been pushed since the 60s and 70s. Also, I went in the article. I went through a number of the shootings that have happened since Columbine, especially the ones that were, explicitly copycat attacks. And in a fair portion of them, the assailants or, suspects, because some of them were arrested prior to the commission of the act,
right,
had also rigged homemade explosives. And in some cases, they might have been autistic or bullied or they suffer from other psychological issues. So the idea that banning the guns would stop school attacks does not fit with that psychological profile, because those type of people, in my opinion, I could be wrong and I could, delve into it further, but they're not going to stop with guns. They're resourceful enough and they're obsessed enough that they would rig their own devices that could potentially cause worse casualties. And it's no coincidence that a day later, because I wrote this article yesterday, I found out that there was a meeting at my old campus of the Gun Owners of America. Actually, no, it was the head of Gun Owners of America, Larry Pratt, was coming to speak at Turning Points USA. So, they had these over there, if you can see that. And, I actually got there late, so I don't know if there was any protesters or Antifa over there at all. So, maybe I missed something. But I think it's bad news for gun control advocates and progressives that at my school, which is traditionally very progressive or non-political, there is an active conservative group over there that's growing, because I remember when President Obama was running for re-election, people were basically lined up around the block to go see him. He was very popular over here, and I think that any amount of people that they lose is actually going to be pretty painful for the Democrats in Ohio. I did want to tell you that I'm still making videos about the Clinton connection to China. My third episode of Year of the Rat is out. That's based on this book. published in 1998. And what people don't understand is if you're talking about collusion, how do you get any more collusion than actually taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from a woman who is a colonel in the Chinese intelligence service, Kostin, and she's the daughter of the highest ranking general in the Chinese armed forces.
Wow.
Well, okay, so guess which president that was?
What was it, Xi Jinping?
Well, no, I mean, it was an American president.
Oh, America. It's talking about Slick Willie.
Absolutely. Very perceptive, my friend. Yeah, it's really, and I'm reading a book right now about a separate book about how that type of story was buried or marginalized in the 90s. But all the sources in this book are LA Times, Washington Post, New York Times, Sunday Evening Telegraph in London. This isn't something that was cooked up by, Matt Drudge, even though he is a good journalist, but it's not something that was made up by Clinton opponents. It was well documented. People did go to jail for some of them. It's really, it's breathtaking how that was not considered collusion in 1996 through 1998, even though there were people who were indicted. There were a bunch of Buddhist nuns that were indicted. I don't know if you know that.
I did.
That Al Gore appeared at a fundraiser at their temple, and I think they were used as straw donors. So there were a number of other issues I did want to bring up today. Did you see Tree of Logic's debate with David Duke? I don't remember when. I think it was 2 weeks ago, but I just watched it about 2 days ago.
I have not seen the debate, and I've heard a little bit about it, but I've not heard a lot about it.
Well, I think it was one of the most like it was a funny debate. Obviously, I don't really agree with David Duke's point of view about me, but the thing is that she really got under his skin. No pun intended. It was amazing how he would just flip out because and I don't know, maybe she set him up, which I hate to take his side, but it was hilarious watching him. They had a cross-examination portion. I think they had 3 different ones, and she basically called him a liar every time.
Wow.
I think it was one of the, I don't think that he's as good of a debater as he was back in the 70s or 80s. But there's a clear difference in personality between him and Jared Taylor, who one of the other callers brought up. Other than that, what are your thoughts about the NCAA scandal that broke out?
That's not really a surprise to me. Players getting paid. That's been going on for a long time. There's a way to actually solve that. I think I did a video about it. I may release it, or I may do it again because I was kind of all over the place. But really, guys need to be able to go pro out of high school. If you're talking about, from high school to the NBA, because that's where all the money was going to NCAA basketball players. Be able to go pro straight out of high school. And in college, I don't believe in the players getting paid, because what's happening is that the players are getting money that's above and beyond what they would get paid anyway. You're talking about, 10 grand, 20 grand. I think one guy got 100 grand. You wouldn't get paid that much as a college athlete. So the corruption needs to be curtailed, but I'm not really sure what you can do to stop it. I think it's kind of widespread at this point, like the swamp. So I don't know what you can really do. Let guys go pro straight out of high school, so then there's no excuse. You can't say, oh, well, I got to take care of my family, this, that, and the third. Well, if you were good enough, you can go pro and make the money, or you can go to the NBA G League. You're not required to go to college or take 1 year off from high school to go to the G League. You can go there. So if you're taking money, that means that you're just corrupt, and that needs to be handled in the appropriate way.
Yeah, I'm working on a compromise solution that would probably, transform the NCAA. So, I mean, it's just me. So I'll be writing it on, the usual hard news blog. So please check it out. And also check out my article on the multicultural education. I just listened to your podcast from Sunday today. So keep it up. It's good to work with. And yeah, have a great night, man.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.